More needs to be done, and that this situation is a test of Adam Bandt's leadership. Lidia Thorpe has resigned as the Greens' deputy leader in the Senate, but she's holding on to her portfolios, and some are calling for her to leave politics altogether. So this has happened after it was revealed that she was in a relationship with the former president of the Rebels bikie gang, Dean Martin, but she failed to declare it, despite being part of a parliamentary law enforcement committee. And there are reports she even attended a major briefing on a significant Australian federal police operation into organised crime gangs, although I should note that Mr Martin has never had any criminal convictions. Also, there's no suggestion that the senator shared confidential information. Labor and the Coalition agree there are questions to be answered. Senator Thorpe has released a statement saying she made a mistake, and Adam Bandt has described this as a serious lack of judgment. Davina?
OK, Fiona, thank you. Well, deliberations of the verdict in the rape trial of former political staffer Bruce Lerman have entered a second day. Lerman's accused of raping Brittany Higgins at Parliament House in 2019. He has pleaded not guilty. We have a reporter standing by to bring you a verdict as soon as it happens. Actor Kevin Spacey has had a court win in the US, a jury deciding to find he did not molest a then young fellow actor in the 1980s. Our US correspondent Jonathan Kersley has this update. OK, we are having some technical issues. Let's see if we can sort them out for our next story. One of Victoria's most infamous serial killers, Paul Denyer, has reportedly applied for parole. Denyer was sentenced to life in prison 3 decades ago for the murders of Elizabeth Anne Marie Stevens, Debbie Freem and Natalie Russell. He becomes eligible for release next year, and families have already expressed their disappointment. A man is in a critical condition this morning after he was trapped between 2 cars in Sydney's lower North Shore. The pedestrian was standing behind his car on Victoria Road in Gladesville when he was struck by a Land Cruiser which pinned him down. The driver has now been charged with dangerous driving. A clothes dryer has sparked a blaze in a granny flat on the Gold Coast. Multiple fire crews were called to the Southport property early this morning. Smoke was seen billowing from the granny flat. Thankfully, all the residents were safe. A semi-trailer has caught alight on the M5 in Sydney's southwest. 500 litres of diesel was drained from the truck's cab when the fire took place before 5 a.m. The driver wasn't hurt, and it's believed there was no damage to the truck's cargo. A crafty thief in Victoria has posed as a buyer to steal a $24,000 diamond tennis bracelet from a Geelong home. The man had seen the jewellery advertised on Gumtree and claimed he wanted to see it, but when he arrived at the Grovedale property, he instead snatched the item and fled. He was travelling in a ute at the time. You'd think caring for one child would be enough, but Koala mum Elsa isn't considered a superstar for nothing. She reared her own 10-month-old bub Olaf, but he's also been spotted Joey sitting another littlie called Regina at the Australian Reptile Park in New South Wales. Elsa seemed to relish the extra responsibilities, which allowed her buddy, Mum Rosie, to have a bit of a rest. Coming up, what caused a huge boom that has residents believing there was an earthquake in Melbourne's east. How a prune a day can keep the doctor away. King Charles to make his debut on television as the new monarch, and it's not a series that you'd expect to see him on. And has Mal Meninga made a final decision on the Kangaroos halves combination? A large steel roof has collapsed on a construction site in Melbourne's east, causing such a loud boom that some residents mistook it for an earthquake. The structure came down at Kew Recreational Centre just after 10 p.m. last night. A building surveyor has assessed the site, and WorkSafe is now investigating the incident. Well, eating prunes every day for a year has shown to help improve bone density and overall well-being. New research from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that eating 5 to 6 prunes a day Also reduced hip fracture risks and reduced inflammatory medicators in post-menopausal women. Don't know if they taste very good though. Sport news now. Kangaroos coach Mal Meninga has given the strongest hint yet that he's made up his mind on Australia's halves for the rest of the World Cup. Emma Lawrence reports from Coventry.
Tomorrow night, Nathan Cleary will finally pull on green and gold for the first time. He'll partner Cameron Munster in the halves, and Australian coach Mal Meninga believes those two are the perfect couple.
I just think the way they play is nearly a perfect match. You know, I'm not saying that DCE and money's not, but I'm just saying that I think that their skill set, matches pretty well.
The eighth immortal Andrew Johns believes Cleary will end up being the best halfback we have ever seen. In terms of his professionalism and preparation, James Tedesco can see similarities between Cleary and Cooper Cronk.
Meticulous with their preparation and their extras and their kicking, making sure they do it non-stop. So I think Nate's on the same path as Cooper. I'm sure he can, with the success he's had, he can end up overtaking him. But I think guys like Cooper is a good benchmark for Nate to get to.
So tomorrow, 6 players will pull on green and gold for the first time when Australia face Scotland here in Coventry.
More Seagulls have broken their silence on the Pride jersey saga that plunged the Manly NRL club into crisis. Homoli Olakauatu and Tolu Koala maintain they chose not to wear the rainbow kit due to their religious beliefs.
That night, and they said just to follow your heart, and I did. There was some hate out there, but I just tried not to pay too much attention to it. Just what you make of it, and during that whole period, I just tried to stay off social media as much as I could.
Tonga next face Wales on Tuesday morning in St Helens. Sri Lanka and the Netherlands have qualified for the Super 12 stage of the Test Afghanistan. Namibia lost to the UAE by 7 runs in Geelong, ending their tournament. It is one of the biggest fixtures of the A-League season, and it could deliver the biggest crowd of the season when Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory square off at Amy Park tomorrow night.
It's great for... I think it's for our...
Yeah, we've got some issues, but stick with us. City are unbeaten after 2 matches, along with Western Sydney Wanderers at the top of the ladder. Well, actor Kevin Spacey has had a court win in the United States. A jury finding he did not molest a then young fellow actor in the 1980s. Our US correspondent Jonathan Kersley has this update.
Kevin Spacey is an Oscar winner, a name synonymous with Hollywood. Today, the attention on him, though, was in a New York courtroom where a jury found him not liable in a civil lawsuit over sexual misconduct allegations.